Yeah, look out now, Grandpa's getting his photo album out. I was digging around in box looking for some other stuff, and I ran across one of these albums. You know, back in the day, we used to have these things called cameras. You know, you couldn't call people on them, you couldn't contact, you couldn't Google. What you could do is take images, and then you'd have to send them off to another place so they could, you know, develop them, put them on paper, gloss them up, send them back to you kind of thing. So this was taken back in 93, 94, and wife and I, my wife down here, and I just got married, and in those couple of years after we got married, we were involved in the RPGA network, Role Playing Gamers Association. It was a players network that would go to conventions and all kinds of other fun stuff, and it was run through TSR or affiliated with TSR back in the day. Anyhow, and one of the stories, the reason this one pops up is one of the stories that I tell every now and then has to do with using real world experiences as a player and as a GM. Campaigns and adventures revolve around caverns and things like light,
the lack thereof. And as human beings, you really can't appreciate just how dark pitch black can be in a cavern till you've experienced it firsthand. And then you start to understand it's easier to envision what that environment looks like when you've actually spent a little time in it, which is what these photos here are. This is the Mark Twain Caves. You can't see that over there, but Mark Twain Caves over there. And the wife and I on our honeymoon stopped here, and it was the weekend before Labor Day weekend. So actually, most of the roadside attractions and stuff were closed. They had not opened up yet. And what you can't see very well here is this whole cavern is full of kids. These are like 5th graders or 6th graders on a damn field trip, and there was 3 busloads of them, and their teachers, and the poor park ranger who was given the tour, my wife here in the corner, and myself, of course, taking pictures. And you really get an appreciation just how dark is, because what they had us do at this point was everybody sit down or get stationary because they didn't want nobody moving around. Then they turned the lights off. They turned the lights off for a full minute. You literally can wave your hand in front of your face and smack yourself in the nose. That's how dark can get. And so you really can't appreciate it. Here's some better photos of that trip. My wife over here and a pack full of damn kids. My wife and the park ranger giving the tour. And it's just, you really don't understand just how in-depth and dark those can be. Anyway, this goes back, geez, that was my 77 now I forget what it was. I liked that car too, I drove it. That was my mom's station wagon. The wife and I took this on our so-called vacation. It was an adventure. Anyway, I'm going to skip forward to this section of the book. And my daughter, when she was very young, this is part of the game group that came out to my house, and every month we get together as a club, and we would have gaming at somebody's house, and we would get and our spouses would come. This is when my wife got involved, because she could come and she could play board games, she could play just hang out with people who don't game, and we would have 20-30 people come to these events. And then a couple times a year we decided, our big thing was the Demicon convention that was held here in Des Moines, because we participated and was the part of the Demicon that ran the game and the game rooms and scheduling and things like this for a number of years, and which is where my wife really got involved in. Otherwise, we would also go out, we'd go LARPing occasionally, we would go out to Ren fairs, things like that. Well, this was a particular October, and the group came out to my parents' house to have a big bonfire and a big get-together and a party. And so some of my, colorful individuals here, so if you're offended by gestures, look away. But you can start to see this bonfire. There's piles and piles and piles
of pallets. This fine feller here that's saluting us, he stopped by it in a truck full of old pallets, and we must have had 100 old pallets down in the pasture. My dad was not happy about that because they leave nails behind. So we had this stack that was literally, the fire would burn so high that the local chief of fire department came by the house to check on us to make sure everything was okay. He knew it was a pasture, so he knew it wasn't a structure fire, but he kind of wanted to say, you guys, the flame can be seen from the other side of town. It's kind of out of control. This was during this period, my wife and I and our daughter lived at my parents' in the upstairs. So this was our quote living room, and as you can see, this was my gaming section. Here was my shelf full of model paint and some of my novels, but it was a hot mess. You can see some of my bookcase collection. It's grown considerably since that point. Right there we go. Take a look at that. That's how big the bonfire we got. It was nuts. And so you can see a whole bunch of people, and I don't remember how many there were. They were 30 or 40 that came out. It was something else. And then you guys don't want to see that's the state fair. Some relative, I don't care. Here we go. Here was one of the demicons that we participated in, and as you can see, we're at the gaming tables and running our show. All these T-shirts here in the background, our club were selling these to generate some funds for the club, and this particular, all those T-shirts were hand painted by my mother, and they had all kinds of dragons and fantasy settings and things like this. But my mom was a talented artist, and she literally painted probably 40 or 50 T-shirts this year, so we could sell them at $15 and $20 a piece, kind of stuff. Forget where this one took place at in that state fair there with my daughter, and mixed in and out. Here is another demicon that we were at a convention. Ironically, lots of people, some of my group. There's my wife sitting at the table. More T-shirts. You can see the game. This was game registration table. My wife volunteered to do a lot of stuff. We'd actually did well this year. We had gone out, or that year, we had contacted a number of game companies, and they sent us stuff that we could give away as prizes and things like that, which was pretty cool. And we started doing that on a regular basis. Of course, being I'm the guy taking the pictures, so of course there's no pictures of me at the damn convention, which, hindsight kind of thing makes me go, I wish I had, and I wish I had done more. So, I miss these people. I don't know where any of them are. I don't know what happened after the group kind of fell apart. We're talking a long, long, long time ago. So here's another group. We were at one of the group members' house, and we were doing board games and some other stuff going on at our monthly thing. And I have a whole other folder somewhere of these sort of things. It's just one of those experiences we look back at and we think how much I miss some of this stuff. One of my bucket lists I would dearly, dearly love for just one time in my life to go to to go to Gen Con. I mean, the idea it's not an impossible drive from Iowa to get there. I would drive because I don't have money for things like airplanes, and I would have to stay in the cheapest hotel I could find, and I would have to plan a year or two in advance just to make sure I had enough money, and then I would have to convince my other half to let me go do that, and I'm not sure she would want to go, and who would look after the catch, and it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Anyhow, I just thought it would be an interesting drop down memory lane just a little bit. You can focus in on these if you want a little better. If not, it's all good. It's all good. You don't have to know, and you don't have to care. Oh, yeah. And let's not forget, in case you don't know what this is. This is the Oklahoma City building, federal building, after McVeigh bombed it. And a few days after that, on a lark, my cousin and I and my wife went on a road trip to Oklahoma, went down here, and we literally got within a couple blocks of it. And I got some more pictures somewhere in another folder that's got shows the Army guys, and there's a better picture of that building. And that was a Cutlass. That was the Cutlass, damn it. I had a Grand Prix before I owned the Cutlass, and I wasn't going to buy this Cutlass, but my dad swore up and down it was one of the best motors ever built because it was the original Oldsmobile motor in there. The 78 models, they started using Chevy or GM motors or something, and the cars weren't as reliable, according to my father. So it was, and actually he wasn't wrong. It was a very reliable car. But anyway, so just a little thing, right?